Okay guys, today's video I'm going to show how you can take a BK mobile radio with a remote head and convert the head from the normal control cable over to IP format. So you can run it on Ethernet through a LAN, through a WAN, or even through a VPN on the internet if you wanted to. But it basically takes all the functions of the head and translates them over. Just to give you a demonstration, I'll key up my portable here, and what you'll see is it'll come in here on the receive, and the audio will go through the Telex from this IP-223 over to this one, and the RS-485 information will be transferred using the RS-485 to Ethernet adapters here from USR. So the only thing left is the power control, and I basically just got the control head here with its own power switch, so you can just turn it on remotely. You don't have to have the head or the radio to turn it on. But anyway, just going to give a demonstration here. I'm going to key up on my portable, and you'll see it go through one way. Testing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And now I'll come back through the mobile here. Testing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And the audio levels are great. I can get more than enough audio through, so that wasn't a problem at all. And the RS-485 modules worked the very first time I tried them. It controlled the radio immediately. The only thing I'm sacrificing in this are the tones that I get on here. I tried to hook up the LAM and the COR on the IP-223, but it's not working correctly, so I'm just stuck to receive action. But that's okay. For the most part, I don't even like the tones on the radio here, so it doesn't bother me at all. I just want to listen to the radio traffic. But and the other thing I found is you don't want to do very fast changes on the control head, so don't try and scroll down super fast. It can cause it not to lock up, but it'll do a weird pause where it won't look like anything's happening, and then all of a sudden it'll kick in and you'll see where you got to. It just won't show the active scrolling. But that's just, other than that, it works perfectly. So this will be great for anywhere where you need to have a real radio, because after all the years I've been doing it, I can tell you I don't like consoles. Consoles always have very minimal functionality, and they never really do what you want them to do. I'd always prefer to have a real radio than a console. So anyway, if you had someplace that you needed to have a radio at, but you couldn't possibly get an antenna over there to it, but you do have LAN connectivity, well, this is your solution. And like I said, this could be you know, in one building or across the country. It doesn't really matter as far as the IP protocol. So yeah, it's got a lot of applications, and I'm going to be trying out with different things. But I'm going to go through now, and I'll switch over to the schematics and everything, and give you a detailed look at how it's done. I'll leave the schematics up and screenshots for everything, so that you could duplicate it yourself. But yeah, this is a project, so it's the BK over IP. Alright, stand by for the details. Okay, so here we are at the block diagram and of what we have, what I had there on the bench. So let me just go over this real quick. Over here, starting with the head, we're taking the audio, receive and transmit, and we're sending it through the Telex IP-223, and we're taking the RS-485 control signal, and we're sending it through the USR TCP232-304 here. and both of those are going across the my little mini LAN here. This is a router, but you don't really need a router. It can actually work on a just a straight switched connections here, but this obviously could represent the entire internet or any sort of stretch of LAN or WAN or anything like that. But this is what I had on the bench for the demonstration, and just kept everything simple. This is the default IP address that the N300 comes with out of the box. It just makes life easier just to do everything with it. The only thing I'd change on this is I disable DHCP and make sure everything has static IPs. That way there's just absolutely no confusion with anything. And also I reserve the .2 address for my laptop when I'm doing all the configuration. But anyway, this is the initial configuration. Once again, when you look at the how it starts off with just your basic control cable, you have the power control, the audio receive and transmit, and the RS-485. I do take over the power control, and I do that locally at the remote head, so that the remote head does not have the ability to turn the radio off and vice versa. Normally the head is slave to the radio for powering up, but just do a little ground loop on the control wire there that gives it the ability to power up on its own. And once again, to go through whatever shape your cloud is here, you just have to come up with two different bridges, one for the audio and one for the RS-485. So I'm going to show a series now of screenshots of the devices, and end with a schematic showing the actual wiring at the end with the cables going between each other. So I'm going to start off here with the USR screens. This right here, this is for the remote head, and I'm making it the TCP server. And anyway, just basically take screenshots of these screenshots and go through and configure everything like this. It's pretty straightforward and simple, and it worked the very first time I tried it. So, and these are cheap. These are only like 35 bucks a piece on Amazon. So, and here's the one for on the radio side. It's the client, and once again, you want to make sure that your baud rate, it comes default 115.2, 8 in one here, and didn't have to change that. The default rates on the BKs are also 115.2, and unfortunately you can't go higher with that. This is about as fast as you can go. So, but it does just fine. And just make sure that you do the little changes here, like only one and one client per server and these kind of things. So just pay attention to the screens and make sure they're all the same. Now I want to talk about the IP-223 and go over these screenshots. This is where you're going to see how the IP-223 is split between local and console mode for radio 1 and radio 2. And I'm doing direct cast to the other IP-223, so I don't have to do any of the multicast stuff. You can do multicast, and it gives you the ability to use multiple devices, but this way I'm just keeping it nice and clean and going right from device to device. Obviously on the other one, it's going to have these numbers inverted. It'll have the 1.5 here, and these numbers will be reversed because they're just mirror images of each other. But once again, you want to come in here to give it the your basic IP address, and I go ahead and put it in the gateway of the thing, but it doesn't need it. It doesn't need a gateway to function. If it can talk directly to the other one if it's directly on the LAN, it doesn't need a gateway. But Anyway, we got that, and here now is the ones for the two different lines. On the line 1, which is the local mode here, you want to make sure the COR is enabled. And also on the line 2, where you got the console mode here, you can see where I went in and just using standard everything. There's nothing that you have to do fancy. And as far as the gains, those are all the same. There's way more than enough on the physical pots on the IP-223. You can overdrive the device is easy on both sides, so you got more than enough to work with. You don't have to worry about giving yourself artificial gain down here. Just keep them all at zeros. And just like I said, remember line 2 is going to be console and line 1 is going to be local. And the hardest part about, I won't say the hard, well, it's difficult, is doing the jumpers, because they're just a pain. But these are the jumpers that you have to do, and I've circled the choices on each one. And this is kind of like the template where you can see where the jumpers are at. So make sure you got all the jumpers right. It's very important, or it won't work. You know, if you were fortunate enough to have an IP-224, you wouldn't have to deal with any jumpers at all, because these all became E settings in the 224. Now we've come to the actual wiring here, and this is looking at the back of the radio here, where you got the two little mini DB9s here, these micro D9s, and you could actually hook up 2 of these, because it can have two. Each radio can have 2 control heads, so you can hook up 2 complete sets without any issues whatsoever, and actually monitor the other one's transmit audio. They give you that option in the programming, so it behaves exactly like a head would. Matter of fact, I'm sure it has no idea it's remoted out. It has no way of knowing. So this is the small DB9, and then this would be your DB25 connector. And the only thing special that you have to do on the radio programming is in the mobile input-output, is to make sure that the output number 1 is for receive active. So whenever you get activity here, it's going to trigger the COR on the local radio here, causing it to encode data packets going upriver to the remote head. Once again, I have the just simple IP addresses for the 2 devices, and let me pull up the. This is for the remote control head. It's just got a little bit different in that the mic is output on 1 and 6 here, but anyway, same deal over here on your IP-223. You're going to be utilizing both DB25 connectors, and on the head you're going to be using output number 2, and it's going to be set to active transmit, so that whenever you give a push to talk, it's going to trigger the COR on the local here and cause the microphone audio to start streaming in packets going toward the radio. So essentially the mirror image of the previous one. So take a screenshot of that, and then finally, this is kind of like I guess the overview showing the different assignments, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and just kind of once you get the tedious things of building the cables done, it goes together really quick. So, all right, I hope you have a good time with this, and we'll talk to you soon.